Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are talking about Boros Metalcraft. Boros Metalcraft basically is the used to reference to the more aggressive version of Boros Monarch, where we didn't play Palace Sentinel and Prismatic Strand. Instead we have a more beatdown oriented gameplay with cards like Ardent Recruit and Secret of the Way. The last time Boros Metalcraft was a thing in Pauper was when Arkham Astrolabe was still legal. So basically this deck can be still a thing thanks to Experimental Synthesizer. Experimental Synthesizer from Kenigawa Neon Dynasty is a kind of broken card. I was expecting it to be a broken card, but it's still amazing how good this little one mana rock is. You can draw a lot of cards. This card is way better compared to cards like Ichor Wildspring because you draw or exile your top card whenever it leaves the battlefield. That means that if you play a Glintook and bring back to your hand Experimental Synthesizer, you are exiling a card, which means that your Glintook can draw more than one single card. Basically, Glintook is a 1 mana draw 2 cards. You are exiling the top card, so it's a virtual new card you are adding to your hand, and you are also bringing back Experimental Synthesizer, which will draw an extra card in eventuality you are willing to play it again. So basically this deck is still a Metalcraft based deck. It's a Kor Skyfisher deck. It plays Galvanic Blast, Lightning Bolt, but is more oriented on a lower mana curve and on an aggressive gameplay. For that reason, we are playing less lands, and we aren't playing any bounce lands because I want to play less than 21 lands. I saw that a couple of lists playing, for example, 18 or 19 lands, but I think that I want to play at least 20 lands because I want to maximize the changes to play every card I exile with Experimental Synthesizer. So having enough lands, is fine to me. I also was able to see that a lot of lists are playing Cool Dirt Rebirth because you can sacrifice Experimental Synthesizer in a similar way you do with Cool Dirt Rebirth with Ichor Wildspring. And I also see that some lists are playing Epicure of Voldaren Epicure, the 1 mana drop that a lot of burn lists are playing. But I don't like them because for the first reason they cost red mana, and the second reason is that they have a worse body compared to Ardent Recruit. They are just 1/1 creatures in a metagame filled with cards like Electricity, Makeshift Munitions, and abyssal creatures with a better body. For example, Aggro of Bolas is still a staple card in blue tempo decks. You don't want to waste slots to play a creature that can't block Ogre of Bolas and survive. Ardent Recruit can block Ogre of Bolas, can block any ninja, and doesn't die to Kenbaji switches. That's part of the reason why I think Ardent Recruit is better as 1 mana card. Another reason is that when you are playing Experimental Synthesizer, especially in mid game, you are using a lot of red mana, so you usually want to reveal only white cards or colorless cards. For example, Ichor Wildspring. So Ardent Recruit is another white card that you are obviously that you have better changes to obviously play compared to the red ones. And a thing that not so many lists are playing is makeshift munitions. I think that makeshift munition is just too good to not play it. Also, by playing makeshift munitions, I can play Ichor Wellspring instead of Golden Egg or any other 2 mana rock. So basically, I'm adding extra card advantage thanks to makeshift munitions, but only 2 copies of makeshift munitions are obviously not enough to leverage Igor Wildspring. For that reason, I'm also playing Foundry Alex. Another reason why I'm playing Foundry Alex is that this card is another burn spells. A couple of lists are playing Chill Lightning. I don't really like Chill Lightning. Chill Lightning is a sorcery speed burn spell, and if you are targeting a red player, for example, a burn player or a Boros player, they can copy your Chill Lightning, and I don't want to let them copy my Chill Lightning. I also like Foundry Alex as answer to Guardian of the Guild Pact, because you can target the opponent Guardian of the Guild Pact, and also is extra life gain. Since I'm not playing Golden Egg, and I'm only playing Seeker of the Way as a life gain spell, having another non-preventable life gain effect is not bad. Because they can always kill your Seeker of the Way with a Lightning Bolt, Skewer of the Critics, Chill Lightning, or Searing Blade. So having extra life gain is not bad. Eventually, if you don't like Ardent Recruit because you think you may not have enough artifacts, you can still try Court Homunculus, which is another great 1 mana creature. Court Homunculus is not really great compared to Ardent Recruit because it can't block and survive against any ninja. It's just a 2/2 creature, but it's an artifact, so it matters with the Metalcraft. I didn't have any problem with Ardent Recruit, but I played only 1 single league. I went for 1, yeah, but the Metalcraft about Ardent Recruit didn't matter. It wasn't really relevant. I mean, I often add Metalcraft, and anyway is still a good way to spend your early game mana, because I think you usually have Metalcraft by turn 3 or turn 4. Your early, and also obviously you want an early game card. Inculdator Abort, for example, is not a card you want to play on turn 1 or turn 2. In this deck, usually your early game is Traveling Spectre, Recruit, Seeker, or Ichor Wellspring. Glinthook, Kor Skyfisher are mid-game cards. You usually play them by turn 3, and usually you also want to play Experimental Synthesizer starting from turn 3, and that's a good reason to have a low mana curve, because you can start playing Experimental Synthesizer by turn 3 because you are expecting to flip a 2 mana spell or a land, so you can play the land and have 4 mana in the next turn, or to play the spell you revealed in the same turn you play it. I think the mana base is great to exploit at the maximum the Experimental Synthesizer, because I am playing 8 dual lands, and also I have a lot of untapped lands. I also take a couple of screenshots just to show you how good is Experimental Synthesizer, because I was able by turn 9 to draw something like 9 cards with Experimental Synthesizer and Glinthook. I played first Experimental Synthesizer, then I played Glinthawk, and then I played again Experimental Synthesizer, and thanks to the second Glinthawk exiled with Experimental Synthesizer, then I was able to draw something like another couple of cards, and by turn 10, then I was able to win the game. So basically I played something like another 5 creatures in only one turn. Is that possible? Probably yes. Makeshift Donations was also good in the mirror match because I was able to kill a couple of Glinthawk and the Samurai token of Experimental Synthesizer, since my opponent was also playing Experimental Synthesizer. And yes, Makeshift Donations is good in this deck. That was satisfying. Then we can talk finally about the sideboard. I think the sideboard is not really a great talk because you usually want to have good cards against the decks you are expecting to face. But I think the only card that I always want to play in this kind of deck is Kirkland Shaman. Kirkland Shaman, in my opinion, is necessary to kill, or at least to have better chances to survive against decks like Elves or Stompy. They're faster compared to me, and they can also survive against my removal spells, especially if they see a lot of Elvish Visionary, Elvish Vanguard, or a couple of Hydroblast. So for my opinion, it's necessary to have Kirkland Shaman. I am also playing Electricity because I think that having another mass removal, which is good against Fairies, especially Mono Blue Fairies, is necessary. And then Red Elemental Blast, mostly against Jeskai or Familiars, which are the blue control decks of the format. And for the same decks, Relic of Progenitus, which can also be a good card against Cycle Storm. Cycle Storm is not really a meta deck, especially since we are playing in a meta filled with blue fairies, but you can face it a lot in leagues recently. Especially since it's a good meta call if you don't face fairies. Anyway, a Relic of Progenitus also seems good to have in this deck. Gorilla Shaman over Dust to Dust for the same reason that I'm not playing Palace Sentinel and similar, because I don't want to have a mana curve too high, and I want to be able to play an 8 cards against Affinity when I excite it with my Experimental Synthesizer. Gorilla Shaman is also kind of good against the mirror match because you can destroy the Trapping Inspector Clue and eventually the Artifact Lands. I'm playing 3 copies of Dawnbringer Cleric here because I think it's good against fairies, since you can destroy the 1-mana ninja and you can also block their ninja. You can destroy their ninja because the new Kamigawa ninja is also an enchantment creature, and this creature can destroy enchantments. Also, I'm sparing some slots to play both Life Gain and an Enchantment 8 in the same slot. And it was good in the test league I ran because I faced 2 Hordes of decks. It was good to kill their Pestilence. In the same league I faced Burn, and I was able to gain 2 lives, bring back it with Kor Skyfisher, and then gain another 2 lives. It's obviously worse compared to Low Missionary, but if you want to play cards like Relic of Progenitus or Gorilla Shaman, I think that it's kind of good as compromise. This deck seems to be good against Fairies, and seems to also be good against the most mid-range piles. This deck basically is a kind of hybrid between aggro and mid-range. In most matchups can play the aggro role, but obviously also thanks to the card advantage of this deck, you can play a kind of control-ish or mid-range style gameplay against decks more oriented on beatdown. For example, Stompy or Red Queens or Born or Elves. And you can also slot a lot of answers to Swarm stacks like Kirkland Shaman and Electricity. These decks also seems kind of good against Affinity because we have more creatures, we have a lot of flying creatures, Seeker of the Way eventually prevent them to kill us with their burn spells or beatdown because it has lifelink. We have good answers to their 4/4 creatures. So when I'm playing Affinity, for example, I'm always having a lot of trouble to deal with Kor Skyfisher and Glintook because I can't block them, and that means that I'm wasting one Galvanic Blast on Kor Skyfisher or Glintook, and Affinity does play only 6 removal spells, 4 Galvanic Blast and 2 makeshift munitions, at least game 1. So for that reason I think we are kind of favored against Affinity. Obviously Affinity is still a tier 1 deck and has a lot of explosive hands, so maybe is not really so great if we don't have a good start at least. Deck anyway is good, so I'm still gonna play it for to have a lot of fun at least. Okay, let's go for the first video. Alright, that's the first video in English with this deck, so I think I'm gonna keep this on because we have a doubled experimental synthesizer and the Kor Skyfisher seems kind of good, but we will see. Probably we are playing against Elves, so his hand is truly bad against it, but at least we have a lot of mass roll effect inside. Maybe, wow. Alright. We'll start with iteration. Nope. Probably I was just expecting to find a burn spells. I haven't found it, and that's the real sad. So if they are attacking with Priest of Titania, that means they don't have any distant melody in hand. So it's safe to leave the Jasper Sentinel for now. So probably we should kill the Elvish Vanguard. What I should do here? At this point of the game, probably I just want to slam my second copy of Explosive Iteration. We will see if we exile another 2 mana cost spell or a 1 mana cost. Yay! Galvanic Blast. I'm gonna kill the Elvish Vanguard. If they did not attack it with Jasper Sentinel, they probably have a Dispo or something similar in hand. So we force them to play it, and then I play the other Galvanic Blast hand in hand. So next turn I can play Kor Skyfisher, bounce back Experimental Synthesizer. I have a Charm Blocker. They can attack. Ooh, that's cool. I draw an extra card, and if they don't draw a distant melody, I'm pretty safe. I think I'll play first and then. Probably is better to just slam the Glinchoke. Let's see what I exile. Too bad, Kor Skyfisher. Exiled 2 good cards, but I still have a good board state, so it's not really a lose for now at least. If they don't draw any distant melody, I'm pretty safe, I think. I want to kill the Jasper Sentinel. I think I'll attack with all my creatures without the Traveling Spectre, only with the flying creatures. Then I'll kill the Jasper Sentinel with Lightning Bolt and play another tap land. So they can't cast Distant Melody if they draw it, unless they have another copy of this spell. Wow. Okay. Probably I should play another Experimental Synthesizer, trying to find a burn spells or a 2-mana creature. Ooh, that's cool. And we kill the Jasper Sentinel. I think it is better. It's better to remove their blue mana sources so they can't cast. They can't cast it on Melody, but they top deck at Timberwatch. Truly bad. So we should find another removal spell. Try to find another removal spell, please. No? Okay. Ardent Recruit, go. Now they can kill one of my creatures, but they have no charm blockers, theoretically. They can still have a lot of answers. Wow, double Dispel into Timberwatch, into Cure Rangers, I'm dead. Yeah, too bad. Probably I was too greedy with the first Experimental Synthesizer. But anyway, I think the game is still... okay, yeah, I misclicked. I was supposed to jump block. But anyway, I think this game is still... I'm still gonna lose it. Ooh. Yeah, right. I can concede. I think the matchup against Elves is bad when they have enough answers, but if and obviously it's a kind of a buy if they don't have any answers. We are bringing in Electricary and Karkan Shaman. The bad cards in the matchups are, well, Seeker of the Way seems kind of good, I guess, because it can put a lot of pressure on the battlefield. Ardent Recruit seems worse only because it's a 3/3, which is not bad, which is not great. Probably should keep a Foundry Alex just because it's a removal spell. I'm not sure if I want a Red Elemental Blast because I can't cast it with Experimental Synthesizer if I exile it, but it's similar to Foundry Alex. I think we are fine with Karkan Shaman and Electricary. My opponent is obviously bringing in a lot of Hydroblast, so the matchup is obviously worse post side. But I want to keep this hand. Free removal spell seems kind of good against Elves. Probably I'll play the Experimental Synthesizer starting from turn 3. Yep. No reason to play Experimental Synthesizer now. I was too greedy in early game. Try to be... okay. I can kill both Birchlord and Jasper Sentinel. Noise. Maybe I should kill Elvish Mystic. They don't have the second land. Yep. Better that way. They conceded. Nice! Double removal spell. They don't have the second land. They conceded. Okay, so basically the gameplay is just trying to stop them through floating the board state, the battlefield. Electricity, Galvanic Blast, and Foundry Alex seems a keep to me. We are also able to draw a couple of cards. Yeah, more Ichor Wellsprings. Hoping they don't have something like Gleeful Sabotage to kill my Gleeful Furnace. Anyway, I think the bolting the Priest of Titania is probably one of the best things we can do. Ooh, turn 3 the Stampede? That's truly cool. I truly think that I want another land. Anyway, if you play Ichor Wellspring, we have enough artifact to play Galvanic Blast. Alright, Weird Shore. Oh, that's truly bad. Truly bad. Right, alright. I'm gonna lose probably because I'm not able to find the third land. Yikes. What? Please land. Oh, come on. I think we can't play around Aeroblast. No, I think I can't play around Hydroblast. Missed too many land drops. So we know that both of us that we have at least one Hydroblast in hand. Okay, maybe they're playing around the Karaklan Shaman. If you have only one Hydroblast, I think it's safe to let one Timberwatch die. Dispel. You have double answer. Again, losing. Oh, I'm losing again to double Dispel. Wow. GG. So bad. Losing to not finding the third land is always sad. Alright, second match we are playing against LuffyDoChapeuDoPalha, which usually he plays only Affinity. I think I want to keep this hand. We have a lot of lands, that's true. But unless we have a Metalcraft, we have Foundry Helix, Lightning Bolt to kill the early game threats. So it's not a terrible hand. Great Furnace, so we can bolt their Frogmite or Disciple of the Vault. Turn 2 we can play Coral Spring, Kor Skyfisher then. Okay, Experimental Synthesizer seems kind of better compared to Kor Skyfisher. So I can play another mountain, then I'll play Synthesizer. I have Hake Changes to find a 2-drop or a Troben Inspector, which is also fine. I'm not really using well the mana, but anyway, I can still play Bolt if necessary. So they exiled Swamp, but instead of playing Swamp they decided to play a tap land from hand. Attack with Troven. And then I'll play Kor Skyfisher and bring back Experimental Synthetizer. No, it's actually better to play Eco Wires playing or crack the Clue token, because I don't have another white mana source to play eventually if I exile a Glintook or another 1 mana drop. Then I'll play a Plains just to be able to crack my Clue token. Sure. It's a really slow start from Affinity. Also, I am really slow here. Okay. Probably I'm supposed to be faster compared to this start. Oh well, anyway. Kor Skyfisher. Bounce back, Experimental Synthetizer. Draw a card. Seeker of the Way. Well, attack first. I think it's better to just play a tap land. If I play Mountain, they still can kill my Seeker of the Way. Anyway, well, they have a Galvanic Blast, sure. Another Galvanic Blast. Decklist. Sure. So it's time to play my makeshift munitions, I guess. Makeshift munitions mirror match. Oh no! I want to kill my Traveling Spectre. That's good. I want to bolt them, or it's better to discard my makeshift munitions. Bolt. I have 12 damage in hand, plus 4 damage from my 6 damage from my makeshift munitions. So basically, I'm lethal. Okay, oh no. Disciple of the Vault. Okay. I want to crack the Coral Spring to kill the Disciple. Probably yes. Alright. Galvanic Blast target Mirror Enforcer or Foundry Helix, which is better? Probably it's better to play first Synthetizer. Alright. Galvanic Blast target Mirror Enforcer. And finally Seeker of the Way. They're killing a Seeker of the Way with their makeshift munitions, but at least they're wasting 2 artifacts, which is fine, I think. Alright. Corners per game. So basically this one is a sort of a mid-range mirror match. Another Enforcer. Let's see if I'm able to find at least a Glintook. Bolt, so I can kill their Samurai. I'm killing first the Samurai so I can Foundry Helix the Mirror Enforcer to get some life back. It's not really great, but better than nothing, I guess. And I'll crack one land. Next turn I'm starting cracking the experimental synthesizer. They can also bring back their Mirror Enforcer with their Blood Fountain, which is truly terrible. They are throwing the Disciple of the Vault in their hand. Why? Seems kind of bad, Disciple against me. Ah, okay, because they're planning to win with makeshift munitions. Truly bad, I guess. I can crack first my experimental synthesizer. Maybe not. Maybe it's just better to galvanic blast the Mirror Enforcer. So if they want to kill my one of my creature, they kill my Trapping Inspector. Unless they have another Reckoner's Bargain. Reckoner's Bargain here will be troublesome. Troublesome unless because they can gain 7 life. Well, what is happening here? Ah, dispute. Sure. Attack for 1. Sacrifice experimental synthesizer for the token. I think they were not willing to waste your artifact to kill my Trapping Inspector. Okay. I'll play Bot Seeker and Ardent Requite. And I can leave 1 mana open to kill their Disciple of the Vault by sacrificing my Trapping Inspector. Sure, you played your first Disciple of the Vault, you have another one in hand. Heh, sure, why not? Probably... Okay. Oh, they're killing my Seeker. Why? Ah, okay. Okay, you killed my 2/2 creatures. I think that I'm supposed to kill their Disciple of the Vault here. So I'm taking 1 extra damage with my munitions, but at least their Disciple is gone. Sacrificing it, targeting me, I guess. Ah, okay. Ah, they're killing my Ardent Requite. I will target you by sacrificing my Requite. So it's time to Glint Oak. Big value time! Yeah, another Glint Oak. I think that I'm not supposed to play the second experimental synthesizer right now, because I can also leave it mana open to just draw a card with each glue token. Anyway, they don't have a lot of artifacts, but still we can eventually kill their Disciple of the Vault if they find another one. Why go face with this Chromatic Star instead of killing my Glint Oak? Until now they played only 2 Galvanic Blast. Oh, okay. Attack for 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If I found another... I think I'm supposed to play another Glint Hook to push more the damage. I need to find basically another removal spell, Galvanic Blast or anything similar, just to try to win faster, as fast as possible. Foundry Alex, sacrifice Experimental Synthesizer. Seems a great play. They concede. So basically I win. I won the Makeshift Munitions mirror match. But I think that Makeshift Munition is not great in this matchup. So usually against Affinity, I put out Makeshift Munitions, then bring in Gorilla Shaman. We can think about bringing in Dawnbringer Cleric, because Makeshift Munitions is actually good against me. And also Argent Raquit doesn't seem so great. But if we kill their Mirror Enforcer, then eventually they don't really have any creature to block Ardent Raquit. And the Dawnbringer Cleric is just a 1-3 and is good as only against Makeshift Munitions. So for that reason I prefer to have only Gorilla Shaman as sideboard 8 against them. Right, that's a mulligan. And that's a really bad hand, because we don't have Metalcraft. We have a draw spell. No, I think we should mulligan. And that's obviously better. Wow. So, Lightning Bolt is not very great. And I think I'm supposed to put on bottom one Glint Hook, just to have more mana. So basically I'm keep putting on bottom one Muldrifter to keep on, to have enough mana to cast my Muldrifters. I think it's better to keep everything in hand. We are playing the Experimental Synthesizer next turn. So they have a Deadly Dispute, sure. So next turn the best draw, the best possible draw is Gorilla Shaman. Not sure if I'm supposed to kill their Frogmite with my Galvanic Blast. Probably not. Okay. Sure. Ichor Wellspring, pass. Nice. That's a cool mulligan to 5, eh? Another Dispute, another Frogmite. Why it is not Experimental Synthesizer without any mana open? It's bad. Glint Hook plus Ardent Recruit probably is the best play now. Also Traveling Inspector. Now, thanks to Experimental Synthesizer, our mulligan to 5s is probably not really bad. Okay, you kill my Argent Raquit, that's fine for now. You also kill my Glint Hook. Sure. Okay, so there's no really reason to Oh, I'm gonna kill the Mirror Enforcer just to use all my mana. There's no reason to jump block. Kor Skyfisher, sure. All right. I think that is better to bring back the Yukur Wellspring instead of the experimental synthesizer. I'm drawing one less card. No. Okay, you're discarding another synthesizer. Why you are attacking with your frogmate? I think I should block with the 3/3. Mostly because there's no reason to lose my Kor Skyfisher to makeshift munition, in example. Oh. Too many lands after all. Probably I was supposed to attack with the Kor Skyfisher. But anyway, they're both fountain, they're cracking it to bring back a Frogmite and an Enforcer. So attacking here wasn't really great. Oh, that's nice. That's not so nice. I'm cracking the experimental. Alright. So play Mountain, play Seeker of the Way. No, I'm not supposed to attack here. I have less resources, they have better board state. They all hold. Wow! Cannonade into makeshift munitions? Seriously? Oh, that's the fourth copy of Experimental Synthesizer. If they attack with Mirror Enforcer, and if I charm block, they can kill my Samurai token, but they're wasting, they're using a lot of resources, so I think that's fine to charm block here. You top deck the third copy of Galvanic Blast. Cool. Another Frogmite. Seeker. Alright, we are in top deck mode. So apparently if they have Frogmite, it's better to keep my makeshift munitions, but I'm not sure about what another Fury Cannonade. So you keep the last 4 copies of Frogmite, and you bring in double, and you did bring in double Frogmite, double Fury Cannonade. Why? So basically we are dead, because even if they unblock, they can deal a lot of damage with makeshift munitions. Right. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to keep my makeshift munitions or bring in the Dawnbringer Cleric, because bringing in Dawnbringer Cleric just to kill their makeshift munition seems kind of pointless. But I guess that having the Dawnbringer Cleric instead of Lightning Bolt can be probably better, because Lightning Bolt is just a single spell that does only one thing, and the Dawnbringer Cleric can jump block and kill makeshift munitions. Probably I'm supposed to keep only one makeshift munitions if I want to keep it at last, because I can jump block with Argent Recruit and then sacrifice an artifact to kill their Enforcer, and Dawnbringer Cleric doesn't die from Fury Cannonade. Not sure if I'm supposed to play both of my makeshift munitions against them, because makeshift munition doesn't seem great against Affinity. Their creatures are too much big, and if they keep wow. So I can draw 2 cards. I have a double answer to makeshift munitions. Doesn't really seems great. That's obviously better. The weakest card here seems to be Arthur Requite. So I'm keeping this end. Let's see what happens. I need to draw the last one land to bot for my explosive Battleapisk and Gorilla Shaman. It's pointless to play Experimental Synthesizer here. So they have a Duress. They're probably discarding my Synthesizer. If they don't discard the Synthesizer, I can generate too much card advantage with my Glintok. And obviously at that time when he have double Gorilla Shaman, they have double Indestructible Land. And we also miss a land drop. Oh, we can kill this land. So do you have a Frogmite? No? Where are my lands? I think, yeah, Great Furnace I was expecting that. I wasn't expecting another makeshift munitions. Seems kind of pointless to play Gorilla Shaman now, but at least I draw another card. So I can play Gorilla Shaman, crack the food token, crack the red artifact land. Then they need to waste another resource to kill my Gorilla Shaman. Not up the land, that's cool. Alright, so Experimental Synthesizer, draw a card, land, attack with Gorilla Shaman. I'll play Glinthawk. I have another land in hand, so there's no reason to, I think, to not play Glinthawk here. Okay. Artifact. Non-artifact, artifact. I have a lot of artifacts, so maybe it's better to play the Windscarred Crag, but I have a makeshift munitions. I'm not really sure what is better. Probably Rustful Bridge because I have makeshift munitions. So it's your turn, opponent. Now they're cracking the Ichor Wellspring to kill my Gorilla Shaman. They're killing my Glinthawk with cast down. Okay. Oh, nice. It's not really great in this matchup to exile the burn spells when they don't have any creatures on the battlefield. Dispute, sure. Why not playing another one? It's even pointless to kill their Mirren Force, and since they have a Blood Fountain on the battlefield. Also, it's kind of impossible to win by attacking. They also draw their cast down. They also have makeshift munitions. I think we can play first Experimental Synthesizer. Recruit seems fine. I'm gonna kill the frogmite. Dawnbreaker cleric here would be good. Would be really great. Oh well. Anyway, I'm gonna play the ardent recruit. I guess I can just pass. I'm laying 1 mana, 3 mana open to jump block and try to kill one enforcer, but seems kind of pointless. Galvanic Blast. I think I'm sacrificing 2 creatures and I can't. Yeah, I can jump block and then sacrifice another couple of artifacts. I think it's not really reasonable to sacrifice my experimental synthesizer and glue token, since I need to draw extra resources to try to deal with their extra resources. Too late. I also boarded out a lot of burn spells, so I can't really win by just vaulting them. I also need to jump block now, and then they're cracking the Blood Fountain just to bring back 2 copies of Mirror Enforcer. Wow. And people really want to unban the order for creature. That's kind of unreasonable. It's already kind of impossible to interact with Mirror Enforcer. Well, anyway, I'm not playing Dust to Dust, that's also true. Okay, you also have your Gorilla Shaman. I should bring back experimental and synthesizer anyway. And I should play Glinthawk. I think not. I'm not gonna. Anyway, I'm losing if they have a Galvanic Blast. Yeah, there's no reason to play anymore this matchup. This game I've already lost when they landed the 3 copies of Mirror Enforcer and when they had everything. The sad thing is that I'm not really sure how they sideboarded, because they bring in Duras, Cast Down, Fury Cannonade, Gorilla Shaman, and they kept Makeshift Munitions. So clearly they ported out Disciple of the Vault, but Disciple of the Vault seems reasonable against me. And they also keep Frogmite, and Frogmite is kind of bad against me. Oh well, anyway, that doesn't really matter, because they bought game 2, game 1, they had everything they needed to win.